The OSI model, or Open Systems Interconnect model, is a layered model that we hear a lot about and that we use on an everyday basis, was not always there. In fact, in the 1960s and the 1970s, network computing was somewhat chaotic. We didn't have a whole lot of standards out there, and every vendor was doing their own thing. Everyone was literally creating islands of automation with all of their different computing systems without using a real standard way of interconnecting the systems. But we saw a tremendous explosion in the growth of networking in the early 1980s. Now, the OSI Reference Model, as it's called, was actually released in 1984. The work of the model began in 1979. So it's been around for almost 30 years, but it has been in practical use for about 20 years at this point. The OSI Reference Model has provided for us a set of references or the ability to standardize and address the different problems that exist in networks, making it possible for us to reduce the overall complexity and be able to get different network products to market, breaking it up into smaller pieces and making it more simple for most vendors to be able to deploy their products was the major accomplishment of the OSI model. Moreover, the ability to create interfaces that have some level of standardization is also very, very important. All of these advantages of the OSI allow multiple vendors to develop and use their own version of the same types of interfaces and products. In addition, the OSI facilitates modular engineering, which means that different types of hardware and software will be able to communicate with one another regardless of the type or the platform or the PC it's running on, or even if it's running on an entirely different platform, such as the Intergalactic Spaceship Alien version 4.7. As long as the hardware and software supports the OSI model, we've got the ability to interconnect. The OSI provides a technology that is, in itself, interoperable. In addition, because standards existed, it accelerated the evolution of most of the technologies that we have today. And it does simplify the overall teaching and learning of the various complex components of the network. We can actually break the OSI down into smaller assemblies, troubleshoot it better, and understand what each layer is responsible for. It really makes learning this model a lot easier as well. Now, you'll want to make sure that you're familiar with all 7 layers of the OSI model. The application layer, layer 7, the presentation layer, layer 6, the session layer, layer 5, the transport layer, layer 4, the network layer, layer 3, the data link layer, layer 2, and finally the physical layer, layer 1. It's increasingly important that you understand the model layer identifier and its numerical counterpart, as sometimes you'll be dealing with documentation that says this device functions at layer 3 of the OSI model. And you'll need to know that layer 3 means the network layer, and you'll need to understand what that layer is responsible for.